What's up? This is J Dub with a question for the flat earthers. Today, how can you have a 24-hour sun north of the equator at one part of the year and a 24-hour sun south of the equator at another part of the year? Let me ask that question again. Now, I just did an entire live stream and it didn't record, so I'm just going to make a video and ask this question. But any flat earther that would like to come on my channel and let's have a discussion about it, I would definitely love to do that. But I doubt if any of you have the balls to do that after I just show a few things, because you know that it wouldn't make sense to argue it. But I'm looking forward to have a discussion. This is not any blowout of the water type of evidence, but I would like to hear an explanation for this. 24-hour sun in the south. We all agree that there is a 24-hour sun north of the equator. But where the disagreement comes in at is south of the equator. The reason why many flat earthers, and I'm referring to the top flat earthers, deny that there's a 24-hour sun in the south is because it would destroy the part model that they have built their subscriber base on. So they have to deny that there's a 24-hour sun in the south, and it could not work on any possible flat earth model that they can come up with. So many of them just deny that there's actually a 24-hour sun in the south. Now you have some flat earthers that say, well, it's a reflection. This is a more recent thing. Back when I was in a discussion 5 years ago, I don't recall hearing any flat earther say that it was a reflection around the ice ring. But the problem with that is we're not talking about a reflection of light. We're talking about viewing the light source directly in the sky above the horizon. So what you're saying, you're just talking. We're talking about not only that there's a 24-hour sun, but that the sun is seen or can be seen above the horizon for 24 hours. I've seen that some flat earthers say it's more than one sun. They don't have no evidence for that BS. They're just making stuff up. And the first people or group of flat earthers that I heard say this was Awake Souls, when they said that you have your own personal sun. I believe that was them. I know they were the first ones I heard of a Pac-Man sun from, but style sun. But whoever said it, you have a personal sun. Answer me this. How can you predict? How can I predict where you're going to be at tomorrow if I don't know you or know anyone that knows you? How can I predict that? Because, see, we can go on timeanddate.com. We can go into Stellarium. And wherever we're at on the planet, not flat plane, but wherever we're at on the planet, we can actually get every sunrise and sunset based on our location. We can get, using Stellarium and other apps that we can download on our phone, we can actually see where the sun is predicted to be at in the sky from our location and bear witness in Stellarium that it is there. Right? So how is that a personal sun? How can Stellarium predict the location of my personal sun? How can timeanddate.com predict the personal location of my sun. They can't. We're looking at the same sun, mind you, through different eyes. Yeah, we're looking at it through different eyes, but it's the same sun. We can interpret it differently. I agree with that. So if you want to say that what we're seeing is interpreted differently based on who we are or personally, I agree with that. But if you want to say what is actually being seen is different from what is actually being seen by me, that's where we're going to have a problem. And you have no evidence for your statement. You're just making stuff up to try to explain away what you cannot explain away. And that's the empirical evidence that we see in reality. So I would love to have a discussion with any flat earther that would like to discuss this topic or any other topic concerning Earth, globe versus flat. Any other discussion. I look forward to it. It's fun for me. It's entertainment for me. And that's the only reason why, I ain't gonna say that's the only reason why I'm engaged in this conversation. The number one reason why I'm engaged in this conversation is to eradicate ignorance. But if I think, because I'm doing a lot of things, if it wasn't entertaining to me, I probably would not be online doing it. So I come online to actually discuss it because I have some flat earthers in the area, but their understanding of the globe and their understanding of flat earth is so minuscule, they can't answer the basic of questions. I mean, the most fundamental of questions that I may have about the flat earth, they don't have an answer for. Right? Like I might ask a question like, flat earthers say that the sun takes its heat with it. So wherever the sun is, that's where heat is at. Right? And when it leaves us or appear to go below the horizon due to perspective or magnification or whatever you want to use, flat earthers say the sun takes its heat with it. But many of these flat earthers around here or around where I'm at, I say, well, if that's the case, and do you agree with that? And they say, yeah. Well, if that's the case, how can we here in DC be in direct sunlight and it be 45 degrees and then somebody in another part of the world be nighttime and they're at 80 degrees? And we know that according to the flat earth, everyone on the flat earth or in that discussion says that the sun is seen because it's closer to us and it's not seen because it's further away from us. So if I'm looking at the sun in DC, I'm closer to the sun than that person on the other part of the earth. But yet they're over 25 degrees warmer than I am. How is that possible? And they can't answer it and make any sense. And many don't even try to answer it. If you got an answer to that, leave it in the comments section. I would love to see it. I would love to have a discussion on that. You know, you can go directly to Antarctica and blow this out of the water. You can travel to Antarctica if you're saying it's not a 24-hour sun and you can blow this out of the water, you have just made a liar out of all of the scientists that have lived in recent years, that believe or that teach or that agree with the earth being spherical in nature. Just think about what place you would have in history if you prove this, that there's no such thing as a 24-hour sun in Antarctica. I just want to show a few things before I get on out of here and finish this video. Like I said, this was a live stream, so I have the things that I'm gonna show you. I had did it in the live stream. I was using StreamYard. It didn't show up, and you know, that was my first time trying to actually use it in the actual live stream. I just downloaded it yesterday. But anyway, here is, it says over both poles, epic flights around the world. I guess they're lying, right? And this was a link that I had from back when I was in the discussion back in 2018. And I see it hasn't been updated since then. But it says how Pan Am Flight 50 flew from pole to pole. Are they lying? Are you saying it's not true? Because that's the first thing that comes out of a flat earther's mouth. It's fake. Or it's CGI. Without any evidence. How can you just see something? And I'm not talking about an obvious CGI picture. But I'm talking about something that would take a person that does that, that's into graphic design and recognizing photos and et cetera, et cetera. I don't know all the professions involved, but you have ignorant people that have no knowledge, technical knowledge of this stuff, but the first thing that will come out of their mouth is CGI. What are you basing it on? Well, no sensible answer comes out. But anyway, this the Guinness Book of World Records. First circumnavigation via both poles, and it's referring to the surface of the earth. It says the first surface circumnavigation via both the geographical poles was achieved by Sir, I don't know how to pronounce that name, never heard the name before, so I'm not even going to try to pronounce it, and Charles Burton, both, I guess, from the UK, of the British Trans-Globe Expedition. They traveled south from Greenwich, London, in the United Kingdom on September the 7th, 1979. Crossed the South Pole on 15 December 1980. The North Pole on 10 April 1982. And returned to Greenwich on the 29th of August 1982 after a 35,000 mile journey. Are you saying that the Guinness Book is in on the conspiracy? Because you know the Guinness Book have to actually observe you doing this. They're not going to take your word for it. They got to actually have someone there to observe you actually doing this. So if they circumnavigated the poles on the surface of the earth, there had to be someone from the Guinness Book of World Records to actually be there to record that this is what they actually done? Are you saying that the Guinness Book of World Records is in on this conspiracy to hide the flat earth? Leave your comments. I would like to know. Lisa Blair, solo sailor. Lisa Blair arrives in Albany after historic Antarctic circumnavigation. This was back in 2017, and back when I was in the flat earth discussion, this was new information. Flat earthers, she's in on the conspiracy, ain't she? She would have to be, right? Read up on her. Lisa Blair, sailor. And she made history because she was the first female to circumnavigate Antarctica solo. Okay. Transglobe expedition. And this is referring back to what we read at first. So let's move on. This is the Vendée Globe race. This is an event that happens once every 4 years. The next one is 2024. It has a lot of media coverage, and I don't want to go there yet. This is the route. Check it out. Now it's going down to Antarctica, and it's doing what flat earthers say we can't do, and that's circumnavigate Antarctica. Are you saying that they don't realize that's not what they're doing? These are professional sailors, and they don't know what they're doing, or they're part of the conspiracy? They are lying? What's your take on that, flat earthers? Here's the route right here again. What's your take on that? It's not real, it's fake? Let me know in the comments. I would like to know. And I would also like to have a discussion with any flat earthers that want to speak on this subject of 24-hour sun south of the equator. Okay, a few other things I want to show. Hey, I don't want to do that. This is the World Marathon Challenge. That was, by the way, that was cool, Hard Logic. He just destroys the flatards. Anyway, World Marathon Challenge 2025. That's the next time they go 7 continents, 7 marathons in 7 days. You would get to go. You can register here. World Marathon Challenge. You know, a lot of us American black folk ain't running no marathon on any other part of the earth, and a lot of us ain't running it here. But hey, you can register. Are you saying that they just put up a website that has no validity to it? It's just they put this up here to deceive you that know the truth that the earth is flat. Or what's your explanation for it? I would definitely like to know. You have an annual event every year, Antarctic Ice Marathon. You can register. Go to icemarathon.com. Prove that they're lying, or that we're being lied about, that there is an Antarctica that has a 24-hour sun, because this event happens during a time where there will be a 24-hour sun south of the equator. Why don't you register for this event and prove that that the globe is a lie? This is actual evidence that you can just write up prove. But the problem is, this would also disprove a flat earth. This one thing would disprove any possible flat earth model that you can come up with. Because we all know and agree that there's 24-hour sun north of the equator. We agree about that. So if you at the opposite time of the year or 6 months later, if you have a 24-hour sun south of the equator, that's a big problem. And this is why flat earthers deny it. This is why flat earthers have to come up with things they don't have no evidence for, like more than one sun or your personal sun. Because they know it can't work on a flat earth. It just can't. Bro Sanchez said you cannot prove the shape of what's under your feet by looking at the sky or objects in the sky. That's a lie. That's cap. How do we know? Well, one way we know is because this can't work on the flat earth. So don't tell me you can't look at something moving across your sky and get an idea of the shape of what's under your feet. Because you can. And this alone proves that statement false and a lie. You have a race called Race Around the World in Antarctica. They race, it's called Race Around the World because you run, it's a 2-mile race. You run through all time zones in this race. It's not north of the equator because there's nowhere north of the equator where you can run through all the time zones in 2 miles that has land that you can run on. The North Pole is not a continent. Therefore, you can't run through all time zones while having a 24-hour sun at the North Pole. You can't do it. The only place this can be done is in Antarctica. That's a newspaper or a press release. The Antarctic Sun. They making up press. This is a press release. They just making this up to fool you. Come on, man, with that bull. And these are, if you look at the date, the 20th, 2023, May 20th, 2023. This is a Cameron Casey research station in Antarctica. Okay, then you got Davis Station in Antarctica. You have Mawson Station or research station in Antarctica. I guess they just got this. This is not real. This is fake. I guess to deceive you that Antarctica is real. Man, you real special, man. They definitely going through a hell of a lot to deceive you about the shape of the earth. Well, they getting billions of dollars and, man, cut this shit. Anyway, make a comment, make some comments. We can just have this discussion about this 24-hour sun. And hopefully we can help eradicate ignorance And I'll talk to you soon. J Dub signing out.